For anyone that doesn't already know about the features and stuff, you can probably watch my other video. I'll go through the camera features and also some of the accessories you can purchase with it. But if you're just interested to know how the photos turned out, like, this video is definitely for you. So I'm going to actually, I've taken out I split my photos into like 3 different sets. We have the terrible shot and some of the things that I learned from it. Then we have the ones that turn out pretty okay, but you know, they're still a little not so good. And then we have some of my favorites that are also unexpected. So one tip about using this instant camera is that whatever you're gonna see, sometimes it's not going to be perfect because the lens could actually zoom out a bit, so then you're going to get blocked photos, or you're just not going to get what exactly you expected because we're so used to like our digital cameras doing a lot of the behind the scenes work that we don't realize actually the photos that we see are going to be quite different. So the first one I tried to take was a marketplace, and I really found, so this was when I was in Siem Reap, and then there was the Christmas period, so it was actually a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year sign over here, and it was in a white light, and I thought it was really cool if I could capture it, but apparently the white light was too bright, so it ended up looking like this instead. So this is one of my tips, is that if it's going to be very bright white light, don't take it, because this is going to be how it's going to turn out. And then the next one, so another stupid thing that I tried to do was to take a photo when she was moving. Obviously that your instant camera is not going to be able to capture it and stabilize the photo, so it ended up super blur, so don't be stupid like me. Okay, next one. So I tried to take a macro shot of my oats, and this was when I was having my breakfast, and this was in a white porcelain bowl. So I have a feeling that when I went closer, there was a shadow and like it became really dark, so the photo is really grey. So another tip is that don't put the camera into a bowl where it's going to cause a lot of shadows and create this really like bad effect. So the next one was that it was super bright, and we went to Ta Prohm. So this is actually where the Tomb Raiders was filmed. If you didn't know, it's one of the ancient temples you have to visit in Cambodia, and I didn't realize that the photo was going to turn out so white. So this is an instance where you have to use the plus one setting on the camera so you can actually darken the photo so it doesn't look like so washed out like this. And another photo that I didn't realize was too bright, this is actually my sister, and she turned out really white, so this photo failed. So the next set of photos we're gonna go through is those that I kind of like, but I guess it could have been improved. So this is actually in the night market. I was expecting things to be brighter, but I'm actually quite satisfied with this. So in night photos, another tip is that your camera is going to take a longer time to process the photos. So it's really important that you don't shake, and I guess it's best you have a tripod, but when you're on the road, it's really difficult to set up a tripod. So best is don't shake the camera, and you have to wait like about 3 to 4 seconds to hold it there before the camera actually processes it. So the only time you can move your camera is when you see that the Polaroid film is actually coming out of the camera, and when it comes out here halfway, then you know you can start shaking. Otherwise, don't shake it. But this is pretty cool, I guess. Then the next one, this is one of my favorites. This is in Pub Street as well. So again, don't shake the camera, let it process. And these lights, like I told you, the white lights are actually, it turns out really bad. But because there were other colored lights there, so it turned out not too bad. And I really like this photo. The next one is I tried to do a close-up shot. I didn't use the macro lens for this, but I did set my camera with the adjustable lens of the 0.6 meters, sorry. So I turned it to 0.6 meters and I took the photo, and this is how it turned out. So I think it's pretty sharp. It's a bit dark, but it's quite cool. And for this one, this photo is pretty neat. So again, from experience, I learned that it was really bright. So what I had to do was to do a +1 on the camera, and this is the kind of photo that I got. Sorry for reflection, yeah. So I think it's really nice. So I'll go on to other photos that I took that were unexpected but really pretty. So these are, I'm going to show you a couple of silhouette photos. So Another thing about using this camera is that natural lighting is very important. You have to know which direction the light is coming from. So obviously the light was facing me, but I didn't realize. But you know, I got a really cool shot of the temple silhouette and I love it. And then this is these photos was when it was 5 a.m. and I was trying to watch the sunset. So obviously this one was before the sun started rising. And if you actually notice, I kind of shook a little, so the photos are a bit blurry. But I think it still turned out pretty pretty. And the blue is, if I'm not wrong, I do think that the color in the sky was actually this color, but it's a bit darker on the edges. If you can actually see, they always have this dark filter. I have no idea why. Yeah. And then later, as it got a little bit brighter, so this is the photo that it turned out. So it wasn't this yellowy. It's a bit more purplish, but I still really like this effect. And as you can see again, the corners are always filtered like slightly darker. I just don't understand why, but I really really love it. Yeah, and another silhouette photo was this. Again, direction of the light is really important. I actually wanted to take a photo of the temple, not the silhouette, but I guess I got it. Okay, so moving on to some of the landscape photos that turned out pretty okay. So this is in Marina Bay Sands. The photo is a little bit grey and dullish. I think it's because it was kind of cloudy on that day when I went to do my photo shooting. So the colours didn't turn out as pretty as I hoped, but it's okay. And then the second one, oh, this one is really really funny. So what I had in mind was my photo, I wanted it to be like this big. My photos, this is what I intended for it. But I didn't realize that instant photography, you can't zoom. So whatever that you see from afar is going to look much smaller, and this is how small the photos turned out. So I was really shocked when I saw it. But you know, this is a learning experience, I guess, that you can't take photos from afar because they look really tiny on the Polaroid. Okay, so I really like this one. It's really cool. This one I did not have to put +1 or any filter adjustments. I just took it. Maybe it's a bit whitish on the top, but I still love it. It's quite cool. Okay, then for this one, I think I did put the +1 feature because it was also too bright. So this is another temple in Cambodia. Okay, so this is one of the ones that turned out pretty well. Yeah, again I used the +1 feature. So actually the Lomo'Instant camera, the photo quality and the colors are pretty accurate and they're pretty good. And this is also one of my favorite shots. So this was taken above the sky, and I just love it. It's just really really cool. Yeah, so I had to use the +1 for this. A lot of my photos when I went to Cambodia, I had to use the +1 because it was really really bright. Okay, so this one is one of the nicer ones. So you see the green and the bluish tones are pretty accurate, I must say. And this is another one. So this is my second part of my photography tips with the Lomo'Instant Wide Camera. And just like to share a few more photos. So these photos are actually taken also by a long MBS. And as I said before, that doing night photography, you should not be shaking a camera, and I totally forgot when I took this shot. But surprisingly, it actually turned out to be light painting on its own. So this was one of the surprise shots that I really loved. And this was another one of the night shot. It kind of shook, so the photo's a bit blurry, but it still turned out pretty well. The color's a bit brighter than it should be though. Yeah. So this is also taken at Long Katong in Singapore. So these are the Peranakan shop houses. And the photos turned out pretty well. So for this one, the colors are a bit light because I had to use the +1 feature because it was a bit dark. But the green turned out well. It's just the pastel colors didn't turn out well. And these were taken at the confectionery shop. Then to show you a bit more variety of colors captured on the camera, I took photos of these flowers in Gardens by the Bay in Singapore. So this is supposedly a macro shot, and the yellow is very accurate to what I saw in the place. As you can see, like this photo, it's a bit dark here because the light was coming in and the lighting in the flower dome's not very good, so it's a bit dark, but over here it's much brighter. This one was done pretty well, so I used the ultra wide angle lens to capture this because it was pretty big. So these are photos I want to talk about. So this one I used the the plus one feature because initially the color turned out this. So this is supposedly a macro shot. Then the macro focus, not sure if you can see, but it's actually trying to focus on the pollen on the inside. And the flower turned out really white. So now when I darken the photo, the color turned out this, but actually the color of the flowers is pretty inaccurate for purple because the purple was more of a bluish tone, not so pinkish. Yeah, but if you're capturing yellow and orange and green, not to worry. And again, you have a bit of the whitish color, so the purple for this camera is not so good. To show you another that I did. So this is the one I was talking about. If you use the double exposure and if you use the blue and red film, you can get this kind of effect. And this is one of the better macro shots that I did. Yeah. So so for indoor shots, it's not too good. So for example, this is an indoor shot even with flash. So the flash will only work on the main subject, like it's about 1 meter away. Anything else behind will become really, really dark. Yep, that's about it.